Talking Football on WTNS with Steve Corries and Casey Claxon.
Welcome to Talkin' Football from WTNS, brought to you by Coshocton Regional Medical Center, your local healthcare team supporting local athletics. Coshocton Regional Medical Center, where care matters most. Casey Claxon back again with Coos, Steve Corries. It is week 5 of high school football. Coos, hard to believe we're at the halfway point.
Just going to say the same thing, halfway point. As we do this program, it's a little bit chilly today, so, you know, it's football weather.
Well, let's talk about the game that you had this past Friday night. I know that was the first game we had down at Stewart Field, but give us a recap of Coshocton's game with John Glenn.
Well, John Glenn's a really good football team. Really didn't know much about them going in. Really solid defensively. They got after Coshocton pretty good, created some turnovers, and, you know, they took care of business. And Coshocton needs to try to bounce back and get a win here on homecoming against Morgan.
So the Redskins will be playing back at Stewart Field. We'll have that game coming up on Friday night. But before we preview that game, let's go back and look at the other two games within the county. Both Ridgewood taking one, a loss at home, a rare loss, and then also Riverview losing on the road. So give us a recap of those two games.
Riverview had a tough ball game with Philo. Philo's another really good football team. They got ahead early, and that's tough for the Bears to kind of battle back from that. But it's going to be a learning experience all year long for Riverview, and I think they understand that, and they're just going to keep playing and see what'll happen as we go deeper into the season.
Ridgewood had a tough one. They were playing a much bigger school in West Branch, and they led a majority of that game, but just could not get a defensive stop there at the end.
It really was a great football game. You know, they played well. They moved the football better than even they anticipated. Defensively, you're right. A lot of speed on that West Branch team. They had a big quarterback that could throw it around and really was one of those guys, if he gets going downhill, he's 6'4 plus and a big kid, and he could pick up some yards. But, you know, another tough game, but really I think they came out of it feeling pretty good about themselves, playing a good West Branch team that close.
While we're talking about the Generals, go ahead and preview their game coming up on Friday as they're back on the road. They'll play T.C.C. in a crossover IVC game.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those games. It's going to be very difficult for T.C.C. They're down in numbers, only 16 or 17 total kids. Ridgewood's a different animal, and you know, I don't look for Ridgewood to have any problem at all. Probably a lot of young kids going to get an opportunity.
The Riverview Black Bears on the road again for week 5. They travel to Meadowbrook, so preview that game.
Well, there'll be a little different game than playing Philo. Philo's a pounded out type team. Meadowbrook, they've used a lot of speed, try to throw it around a little bit. They're going to have to be aware of that. I think Coach Lasecki would like to see his offense kind of pick up the pace a little bit. I think, you know, they've had 4 weeks in the wing tee, and I think he wants to see if they can move the ball. And I think this might be an opportunity for them to get on the board a little bit.
And our feature game coming up on Friday night, we'll have the Coshocton Redskins at home taking on Morgan. We'll preview that game and talk more about the Skins in action on Friday night right after this message from Coshocton Regional Medical Center. Back to wrap up Talking Football from WTNS. Coos, you've got the featured game with Morgan and Coshocton, so let's talk about the Redskins matchup in week 5.
Well, it's homecoming game number 1, and that's always, you know, positive night. I think if you're the home team, you get people coming back. Everybody's excited all week long, and I think that'll be a plus. It's another different team. This is a team that for years pounded it at you. Now they've got a quarterback who likes to throw it around a little bit, and I look for it to be one of those type games. They're going to throw it maybe 30, 35, 40 times, and Coshocton's going to be able to defend that. On the other side, I think Coshocton's going to be able to move the football. Morgan doesn't have a great defensive team, and if they can get that running game going, keep the penalties down, I think this is an opportunity to get that win number 1.
So we'll have the game coming up on Friday night, pregame show at about 6:35, kickoff and play-by-play at 7 with Coos and Chris Wallace. We'll have the game on FM 99.3 WTNS, and we will live stream the game from Stewart Field on the WTNS website and our YouTube channel. So look us up online. You'll get the link on Facebook, and you can also find it on our website, mywtnsradio.com. This is Talkin' Football, brought to you by Coshocton Regional Medical Center, your local healthcare team supporting local athletics. Coshocton Regional Medical Center, where care matters most.
Talking Football is a production of WTNS Sports and Claxon Communications.
Okay, head to the doctor. I'll see you later.